Grace and peace to you. We're now 2 days removed from our gospel reading of the parable of the persistent widow, and yet that story continues to exist in my mind and won't quite let go of me yet. Today I wanted to share someone else's thoughts on this story. I happened to see on Twitter one of my favorite authors and theologians, Diana Butler Bass, shared some tweets that reveal kind of the general gist of her sermon on this, and it's so wildly different from what I preach. I really wanted to just share her words with you, and so I'm just going to read the tweets that she sent out. And so she says, "Prepping for tomorrow's sermon, I was challenged by Amy Jill Levine's suggestion that the widow in the parable might not have been an innocent victim. Amy Jill makes the point that biblical widows are often resilient, bold, and often cunning characters. We only assume she's a good person, but what if she isn't? What if the other person, the invisible character of her opponent, was actually innocent, and that she was pressing a case against a truly guileless party? I admit this rocked my theological imagination. As a result, I decided to preach on the invisible party in the story, the unnamed person against whom the widow wants redress. If we follow Amy Jill's storyline, this parable has two awful characters, an unjust judge and an obnoxious complainant. The one good character, who might actually be the innocent part, is both invisible and silent. No voice in the story. Isn't that how the poor and those at the bottom of empire experience justice? That unjust judges hear only the cases of those who have enough power to make their voice heard, and justice is rendered thusly to the noisy rich. Meanwhile, others have no voice. That's the gist of my sermon tomorrow, the third party. I think that's who Jesus' hearers would have related to in the parable. Those who watch unjust judges deliver verdicts to those with the power to be heard. And like the third party, they long for real justice. And of course, that's the narrative point, that God is a different kind of judge, that there will be true justice, not this corrupted sort of justice that serves only a few, but justice, like waters, will one day cover the earth. The joy of preaching parables, no one answer, only a multiplicity of potential hearings. Let the one with ears hear." Again, that's Diana Butler Bass talking about a sermon that she preached. Remember that you are loved, and God's peace be with you.